Hello again, everybody. Now I'm going to be covering exercise 25, drawing circles in your Rhino Training Manual Level 1. This particular exercise does entail an auxiliary model, and that model is called circles. And if you notice in my title bar, you'll see that the file circles has already been opened. Okay, so once you have the file open, we are ready to go ahead and begin. The first thing we're going to do is to draw a center radius circle. So from the curve menu, click circle, and then click center radius. For the center of circle, snap to the intersection of the center lines. In other words, at exactly this point. For the radius, type 4 and press enter. A circle is created around the center line intersection. Next, we're going to divide a curve by a number of segments. For the next part of this exercise, we need to find some specific points to locate two of the circles. We will use the divide command to create these points. So the first thing we need to do is go to the curve menu and then click Point, Object, and then click Divide Curve By, which is at the very bottom, right here. And lastly, select Number of Segments. Okay. Now select the bottom line as the curve to divide, this one right here, and press enter. And I prefer using the right mouse button. And now you'll notice that the command bar is asking you for the number of segments. For the number of segments, type 4 and press enter. The line is now marked off into 4 segments with a point at the end of each segment. The next thing we're going to do is draw a diameter circle. So first of all, let's turn on the point snap, which in my instance is already turned on, so no worries. If it isn't in yours, just make sure you click to make sure the check mark is, you physically present, and that will let you know that your point snap is in fact turned on. Now, from the curve menu, click circle, and then click 2 points. For the start of diameter, pick snap to the second point from the left end of the line you divided. In other words, this point right here. Move your cursor straight up in an orthogonal perpendicular position. And for the end of diameter, type 4 in your command bar and press enter. A circle is created with the 2 points you picked as the diameter, and the diameter was constrained to a value of 4. Now we're going to repeat these steps for the second diameter circle. So go ahead and right-click to bring up the previously used command. And this time, our start of diameter is going to be the second point from the right in this illustration. Again, move the cursor straight up in an orthogonal perpendicular position. And for the end of diameter, go ahead and type in the number 4 and then press enter. And now you have created 2 circles at the bottom of this particular part of the exercise. And the last thing we're going to do is to draw a tangent radius circle, and we're going to do this in 2 different positions. One is going to be located over here on the top left-hand side of this rectangle, and the second one is going to be created on the top right-hand side of this rectangle. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So from the curve menu, click circle, and then click tangent radius. For the first tangent curve, select the top line, like so. And notice that I'm selecting towards the left part of the line, as opposed to the right side of the line, okay? So make sure you're clicking on the left side of this line. For the second tangent curve, select the left line, like so. The last thing the command bar wants to know is the radius. In this instance, type in the number 2 and press Enter. A circle is created that is tangent to the two lines you selected with a radius of 2. Go ahead and repeat these steps for the second tangent radius circle. So one more time, let's right-click to bring up the previously used command. For the first tangent curve, select this line towards the right side of the line and click one time. For the second tangent curve, select the right line, click one time. And for your radius, one more time, it's 2, Enter, and that completes your two-dimensional part of this drawing anyways. Moving on, the next thing we're going to do is to make this into a three-dimensional object. So as always, in order to really visualize and to make sure you're doing things correctly in all dimensions, I strongly encourage you to double-click your viewport title so that you can actually see what's going on in your perspective viewport, okay? So the first thing we're going to do is select the lines that form the rectangle. 1, and I'm holding down Shift to multi-select. 2, 3, 4. Now, from the Solid menu, click Extrude Planar Curve. Solid, Extrude Planar Curve, and then click Straight. For the extrusion distance, type 2 and press Enter. Now, things might start to look a little funny, and that's mostly because we're in wireframe. Excuse me. So to get a better view both in all three dimensions and to be able to still see the wireframe drawings that are in here without completely occluding them, I suggest, my personal preference anyways, is to change the viewport style to ghosted. So you get, the best of both worlds. You see the three-dimensional properties, however, you also still see the two-dimensional drawings. Okay, and really it's a personal preference. It's really up to you. It just helps me personally to understand a little bit better in all three dimensions what exactly it is that's going on. Next, we're going to select the 4 smaller circles. Again, holding down Shift, I'm going to select the 4 smaller circles. And now from the Solid menu, I'm going to once again select Extrude Planar Curve, and then click Straight. And for the extrusion distance this time, I'm going to enter -6 and then press Enter. And since I know that negative numbers are supposed to be going underneath the construction plane, that lets me know that my view here is basically, in my perspective viewport, is basically upside down. So before I move on, I'm going to orbit around until I'm right side up. There we go. Okay. Now there's just one more extrusion and that will complete this exercise. So now we're going to select the large circle in the center, this one right here. From the Solid menu, click Extrude Planar Curve, Straight, and this time the dimension is going to be 4. Type in the number 4 and press Enter. And then go ahead and zoom out to make sure everything is extruded correctly. And there we go. That basically concludes exercise 25, drawing circles.